Tonight, a highly anticipated courtroom showdown. Prosecutor star witness Michael Cohen, former President Trump's self-described fixer turned fierce critic, telling the jury Mr. Trump directed him to pay off an adult film actress days before the 2016 election.
The participant scheme was illegal. The scheme violated New York election law, which makes it a crime to conspire to promote a candidacy by unlawful means. The $130,000 wire payment exceeded the federal campaign contribution cap, and the false statements in AMI's books violated New York law.
Convicted felon, 2 words the media used to brand a presidency. But if you think this was just about a check or a simple bookkeeping error, you've been profoundly misled. Imagine you push someone down a flight of 34 stairs. In most courtrooms, that is one crime, one act of violence. But what if the prosecutor decided that every single stair that person's body touched was a separate, independent felony? That is the exact architectural logic used to build the case against Donald Trump. 34 counts. They didn't just want to prove a crime. They wanted to build a mountain of paperwork so high that no defense could climb it. Each count represents one stair in a staircase of legal alchemy. They took 11 invoices, 12 ledger entries, and 11 checks, documents that were never seen by the public, and surgically divided them into 34 separate felonies to create a label that would stick. But here in January 2026, those 34 stairs have turned into a $10 billion ticking time bomb for the media. The establishment thinks they can just walk it back with a quiet retraction on a back page. They are wrong. We are looking at a strategy designed to make the retraction the most watched news event of the year. The real story begins with the January through March appeal window, a period that is going to rewrite every headline you've seen for the last 2 years. Stay with me, because I'm going to show you how a no-hide legal trap is being set right now through mountains of paperwork that the mainstream press is desperately trying to ignore. By the time we hit the end of this video, you'll be smarter than your neighbor on how this brand war actually ends. Before we go deeper, I want to give you a detailed summary of exactly what you are going to get out of this broadcast, because this is the information the mainstream networks are terrified to touch. We are breaking down the specific, surgical legal filings, the writs of error, the petitions for removal, and the motions to vacate that are hitting the courts right now to systematically dismantle the 34 counts. We are exposing the key players, from Michael Cohen to Stephanie Clifford, better known as Stormy Daniels, aka whatever her name is, who profited from this malice. Most importantly, I am revealing my personal vision for a legal checkmate involving a stipulated consent decree that would force the media into absolute submission. You will see how this transitions from a state-level political show trial to a federal-level restoration of the law. You are going to learn how the convicted felon brand dies and how the financial reckoning for the architects of malice begins. By the time we're done, you'll understand the no-hide retraction strategy that ensures the truth isn't just buried in a corner, but is shouted from the rooftops. This brings me to a strategy that I believe is the ultimate kill shot for the Democrat narrative, a concept I call truthful compliance. Now, let me be very clear. This is my personal viewpoint, my own idea that I believe can stifle and bring the Democrat objective to a total halt. While I call it truthful compliance, the legal system knows it by a much more clinical name, a stipulated consent decree. This is the binder I've been telling you about. In my view, this is the most powerful weapon in the legal arsenal. A stipulated consent decree is a court-approved agreement where both parties stipulate, meaning they officially and legally agree, to certain facts and behaviors. Once a judge signs off on this binder, it is no longer just a deal. It becomes an ironclad order from the bench. If a media network signs this and then acts out of compliance, they aren't just breaking a promise, they are in contempt of court, and the liability becomes astronomical. My vision for this truthful compliance strategy is built on 5 specific legal pillars that would change the game forever. First is specific performance. In my strategy, money isn't enough. I want the court to order the networks to perform a specific act, broadcasting a word-for-word retraction in the exact same primetime slot where they told the lie. Second is that stipulated consent decree, the binder that turns the truth into an inescapable court order. Third is the use of liquidated damages. This is the hammer. I want a clause in that binder that sets a predetermined, massive price for every single violation. If they lie again, they pay. If they repeat it, it doubles. If they persist, it triples. Fourth is a verified retraction, where the editors and anchors must swear under oath that their previous felon brand was a legal falsehood. And finally, we address compelled speech. The media lawyers will try to hide behind the First Amendment, claiming we are forcing them to speak, but my strategy bypasses that defense entirely because they would be voluntarily signing the decree as part of a settlement to avoid a total $10 billion bankruptcy. Now, let's talk about the engine that funds the people's victory, the ERS. Many of you know the IRS, but the president is shifting the power to the ERS, the External Revenue Service. While the IRS looks inward at the citizens, the ERS is designed to look outward. This is the agency that will manage the massive influx of tariff revenue and, more importantly, the multi-billion-dollar penalties extracted from these media conglomerates. The ERS is the financial backbone of this entire operation. The plan is to take those settlements and the ERS funds and give them directly to the people. When a citizen receives a media reparation check issued through the ERS, the brainwashing is cured instantly. They'll look at that check at the breakfast table and say to their family, "I got paid because the media lied to us." They'll discuss it with their neighbors, saying, "I'm not giving this money back, and I finally see the truth." The media has nowhere to hide because the conversation is happening at the kitchen table and the breakfast table, not in a controlled news studio. The paperwork backing this up is a massive mountain of evidence. On the Manhattan side, the DA is filing supplemental affirmations, trying to save a sinking ship. But the president's team is hitting back with a petition for removal to strip the case from state hands entirely. We are looking at specific tactics like the writ of mandamus, which is a high-level request for a superior court to order a lower court to do its job and apply the Supreme Court's immunity ruling. The lawyers are also deep into motions in limine to permanently bar the testimony of people like Michael Cohen and Stephanie Clifford, also known as Stormy Daniels, from ever being used in a courtroom again. To understand the 34 stairs, you have to look into the silent corners of the accounting department back in 2017. They brought a mathematical blitzkrieg, 11 invoices, 12 ledger entries, and 11 checks. But here is the real deal for 2026. These were originally misdemeanors. To make them felonies, they used a ghost crime that wasn't even charged. They used the testimony of David Pecker and a 2015 catch and kill meeting to turn routine bookkeeping into an election-altering plot. As for the people who provided the material for this brain damage, Michael Cohen, the star witness, admitted under oath to stealing $30,000 from his boss. Then we have Stephanie Clifford, better known as Stormy Daniels, aka whatever her name is. She already owes the president over $600,000 in legal fees. When you tie them both together, you see an adventure of deceit, funded by book deals and media tours. In my opinion, hitting them with these 5 pillars and the ERS enforcement is the only way to dim the lights on the democratic objective. You make the lies so expensive that the corporation's board of directors forces the anchors to tell the truth just to save the company. This is how President Trump turns out to be the only truth teller in the game, by letting the people share in the victory over the architects of malice. I will post the key points and the URLs for these findings in the description below so you can see the paperwork for yourself. While you are down there, hit that like button and subscribe. Help us get to that 275 subscriber mark on our way to 300 so we can keep getting this truth out. The 34 stairs were the bait. We've set the stage with the January to March window and the official acts of Hope Hicks and Jeff Sessions. Now, it's time to see the extraction in action. Click on the 2 thumbnails above as we take our journey deeper into the truth and watch the Democrats' reaction when they finally realize they are trapped in a legal checkmate of their own making.